Welcome, my fellow Witcher fans. I know I'm pretty late with this video, and at this point I'm sure you've all seen the big reveal of The Witcher 4 at the Game Awards show last year. That would make sense if you're watching this video. After much speculation over the past decade since the third installment was released, we finally have a confirmed protagonist of the next game, Ciri. Before I continue, let me start by saying that I have no issues with Ciri as a character, and quite honestly, with all her Elder Blood powers, I think this new game is going to be a whole lot of fun. Ciri is one of my favorite characters, and heck, even my desk mat, mouse pad, whatever you want to call it, has Ciri on it. So obviously I'm a fan of the character. One thing I've been seeing a lot is people getting upset that people are angry that there's a female lead in the new game. They claim there's an uproar because the next protagonist means CD Projekt is going woke, and there are way too many new games pushing female protagonists on us. And quite frankly, I think that's stupid. I haven't seen a single person complain about this or have any words of judgment. The only thing I've seen is support or people who are indifferent. While yes, there has definitely been a large uptick in female-led games recently, this is absolutely not what CD Projekt is doing, and fans of The Witcher know how integral Ciri is to the story. I also don't care what identity the protagonist has. If it's a good game, I'll play it and enjoy it. I mean, I've enjoyed plenty of games with female leads. My favorite game of all time, Scarlet Nexus, you play as Cassane, a female, for half the game. There's Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There's the Sirens for Borderlands, my class of choice. My custom characters in Dragon's Dogma, Lost Ark, and a few other games are women. Some of my favorite heroes in Overwatch are women. Yeah, I think you get the point. With that being said, however, I'm still not quite sure making her the protagonist of this next game is the call I would have made. I'm not saying it was wrong or a bad decision, I just don't think it's the right one to me, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So, here's my issue. I think making Ciri the main character negates player choice. At the end of the third installment, there are 3 possible endings. Ciri continues to walk the path, she dies, or what I did in my game, she becomes the Empress. With Ciri now being confirmed for the new game, that means that she ended up becoming a Witcher anyway, regardless of the other possible endings. In a game series that's known for its emphasis on your own decisions changing the world of the game, especially choices throughout 3 different titles, this playable character transition might be hard to pull off in a convincing way. I do have faith in CD Projekt Red, and I personally believe I'll be fine with whatever story bits they implement. However, it might not go over best with the player base as a whole. I did see an IGN article that eased my doubts a bit, so I'll read you a quick statement from it. The one complication is probably the idea that there is an ending in which Ciri can die in The Witcher 3, explains Mar. Thankfully, that ending, which is one of 3 fates for Ciri, and the outcome of several hidden choices made throughout the game, isn't quite as clear-cut as it may seem. There are hints in that ending that highlight that the fact that she probably does not die, says Mar. And so regardless of the events you personally witnessed at the end of your own Witcher 3 playthrough, the sequel will not break any canon or even offend any canon. So this raises a few questions as we examine each ending. Obviously, if you got the ending where Ciri continues on the Witcher lifestyle as she walks the path, the transition to the next game makes perfect sense, so no worries with this one. If, in your game, you went with the Empress ending, like me, there's going to have to be a convincing story that explains how Ciri went from being an Empress to returning to the Witcher lifestyle, and personally, I think that'll be quite difficult to pull off in a way that makes sense and drives the story forward. And then there's the death ending. I don't really think I need to expand on that one anymore. The games are called The Witcher, so it would only make sense if you played as a Witcher in the game. Don't worry, I'm not making the Ciri isn't a real Witcher argument. As far as I'm concerned, she is. We can look past a few specifics here. I think we should take a look at all the other Witchers we encountered over the course of the first 3 installments and see if they could possibly fit somewhere in the timeline for their own game. First up, we have Geralt. He's the tried and true, super popular, and well-loved protagonist of the series. While I absolutely love this character, I don't really see what else we could do with him at this point. Not only has he had his own story in the books and the first 3 games, there was a bit of an underlying trend of Geralt thinking about calling it quits on a full-out Witcher lifestyle. Next up is Berengar. This is a Witcher you can run into in the first game. Turns out, this dude hates Witchers, so I would assume that wouldn't be a great choice to kick off a new trilogy of games called The Witcher. Also, he challenges Geralt to a duel, and you can choose to kill him, so there's that. Then we have Jad Carradine, a retired Witcher, let me repeat, retired, that you can encounter if you do Lambert's questline. Not only is he retired, but you can also kill him, so yeah, not a great choice. Next up is Gaten. This is a Witcher from the School of the Cat. You can choose to kill him, but even if you spare him, he massacred a village, so again, not the best choice for your main character. As much as I love Vesemir, it wouldn't make sense for him to be a playable character going forward, as he dies and there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry, spoilers, even though it's been out for a decade. Even if he didn't die, he's just too old to do all the things we did with Geralt. However, it would be cool to get a game where we play as young Vesemir. That would be awesome. My personal favorite Witcher, other than Geralt of course, is our next person on this list, my boy Letho. While I think it would be amazing if we got some sort of media that went more into depth with Letho's past, especially with the events leading up to the second installment, I don't think it would be enough content to warrant a game. If we were to continue on with the story that we already have, Letho can't be a future choice because we have the option to kill him at the end of The Witcher 2. I'm pretty sure there aren't a ton of people who would want to play as Lambert for an entire game. However, I think he would be in the same boat as Letho. There's plenty of history here to explore, but I'm not quite sure how compelling that game would be. Also, there's the possibility of Lambert being killed by the Wild Hunt defending Kaer Morhen, so you can't really go forward with him. Now, if we're going to play as a pre-existing Witcher within the universe of the CD Projekt Red games, the only one that makes sense to me is Eskel. As far as I'm aware, there's no way for Eskel to die in the games, so moving forward with him doesn't break any canon, nor does it negate any player choices. After the defense of Kaer Morhen, Eskel mentions that he wants to eventually leave the place behind and return to the path, and his destination would be Lormark. Now this is a disputed area in Upper Aedirn, so it would be really cool to have an all-new story following Eskel and have it match the tone of The Witcher 2 in the sense that there's still plenty of witchering, but there's also a fair amount of political intrigue as well as more military-based questlines. Like the rest of the School of the Wolf, Eskel has been around a while, and there's definitely history to explore, but I think following him on his journey to Lormark would be really cool. Now, with all that being said, I would like to offer an alternative opinion to the train of thought I just walked through. What if we made a new Witcher? This could be a character the developers create, or we could create our own Witchers. Now, I'm well aware that introducing a new character to a series filled to the brim with rich, beloved characters would be extremely difficult to pull off in a satisfying way, which is why I don't think the game should be your regular adventure RPG like the first 3, or I guess now 4 games. I think we should set the game in the past, back when there were plenty of Witchers and tons of monsters to kill, and we'd make the game a top-down hack-and-slash looter, much like Diablo, Path of Exile, Lost Ark, those kinds of games. To make it a bit more enjoyable though, we make the gameplay a little bit more complex, so it feels a lot more like Darksiders Genesis. Side note, Darksiders Genesis, and just that whole series in general, is amazing and underrated. Go play them. Maybe it's just me, but I think that game would be amazing if it's ever made, but I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that, sadly, it won't. But yeah, enough of my rambling. Just to clarify, I really don't care who we play as in the game. I'm just happy there's another Witcher game that I can look forward to binging and beating the whole thing in a week. I just wanted to make this video to start a discussion on why or why not we should have Ciri or other Witchers be our main character. I guess I'm just treating this video like an extended Reddit post. If you made it this far, thanks for listening to me talk about a bunch of fictional dudes dying. I'm trying to stream a lot more often on Twitch, So if you want to check the description for the link for my Twitch channel, that would be awesome. Until my next video, I'll see you all in chat.